So, why do we eat food? Batao? It's simple. For nutrition. Now, the food that we eat has different kinds of nutrients. And our body needs all the different kinds of nutrients. These different nutrients are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals. Okay, let's tackle these one by one.
Here's your story, let's begin. The water's fine, come on, dive in. The future's here, it's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. You're welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could.
First, let's take a look at carbohydrates. But before we do that, I want you to tell me something. How many letters are there in the English alphabet? For those that are unsure, don't start counting. It's 26. And now tell me, how many words are there? Millions and millions of them. Just think about that. With just 26 alphabets, we are able to make a huge number of words. It just goes on and on. Friends, carbohydrates work in the same way. This group is like the English language and it has only 3 alphabets: carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. That's it. With only these 3 letters, millions and millions of words can be formed. And in chemistry, we call these words compounds. Depending on how the 3 letters combine, different words of compounds are created. And then the entire language made from these 3 alphabets is प्यार से called as carbohydrates. Or in other words, the group of compounds made from these 3 elements is called carbohydrates. And many of these carbohydrates are very good for our body. In fact, so many are good for our body that we have to divide this family into 2 halves to make things easier. Carbohydrates are split into 2: starch and sugar. Do you know why they are so good for us? Guess. Because our body itself is made mostly of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And do you know where these 3 come to our planet from? They come from the stars. Basically, these 3 elements were first present only in stars. And then, when these stars died and exploded, they spread these 3 elements, that is carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, across the universe. And then, many years of evolution later, came you watching this video. You are made up of that very same carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen that came from outer space. So, the next time you are feeling low, cheer up, because you are made from stardust. Now, for a question, you are made up of stardust, and secondly, carbohydrates are split into 2: starch and sugar. Okay, so first let's take a look at starch. Starch is obtained from plants and is very important part for our diet. We get it from bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, wheat, oats, and so many other items. In fact, you can very easily test for yourself if some food has starch in it. It is very simple. You take whatever it is that you want to test in a plate, like a piece of potato. Then you will need dilute iodine solution. You will get this at any chemist. Now just simply add iodine solution to the plate. But be careful, only 2 to 3 drops are needed. Oh, take a look. The potato has turned bluish black. This means that starch is indeed present in this food item. Now, if we take this other bowl of milk, for example, and add 2 to 3 drops of iodine again, take a look. The milk has not turned blue-black. Hence, we can clearly say that potatoes have starch whereas milk does not.